Hey guys, Steve here, singledadfitdad.com. Thanks for watching this video. Today's another installment of my Saturday Q&A where I answer a question posed by a reader or a client. Today I'm going to answer the question, should you wear a weight belt? Okay, take this, what I say, with a grain of salt, because everything is, my opinion. I do have some pretty strong opinions about certain things. Weight belts are one of them. To be honest, I think it makes someone look like a fucking douchebag. But, there are some reasons to use one. But for 95% of us, the regular guys who are not big-time lifters, in my opinion, it does not make sense. Okay, a lot of people kind of jump on the bandwagon. It's kind of seen a resurgence recently. They were out of style for a while, and now some people it's kind of coming back into fashion, for lack of a better word. And people they're sheep, so they'll see a bunch of big strong dudes at the gym and say, well, he's wearing a weight belt, maybe I should wear one. So let me give you a couple of reasons why you should not be wearing a weight belt when you're exercising. Okay, first one is it hides a weak core. So kind of the idea behind the weight belt is to stabilize the abdominal muscles and the lower back, right? So we're trying to avoid injuries. But it kind of has the opposite effect, right? We've all heard the term functional training, blah, blah, blah. And it's true to an extent where we want to be moving in all planes of motion. As we get older, we're dads, we're reaching down, we're picking up kids, we're doing stuff that we didn't used to. We need to be functional, we need to be strong in all areas, specifically low back, core. If we're working a desk job, we're driving a lot, commuting, our core muscles, our abdominals, and lower back, do they get weak? So the weight belt removes the function from that. So we slap that weight belt on and we're no longer using the muscles that we need to be using. Okay, big problem. It does not. Most people say, well, I'm going to do it for squatting or deadlifting, but it doesn't protect your lower back. People are afraid, if I squat, I'm gonna hurt my low back. And if you're doing it right, you won't. Okay, most people don't squat right. There's a lot of a lot of things that they do wrong, and it doesn't protect your lower back. A proper squat will strengthen your lower back, not weaken it. So work on some exercises that will actually build that strong core, and don't try to slap on that weight belt thinking that it's going to save you while you're squatting. Okay, it's not going to happen. Okay, it increases your blood pressure. You're going to tighten that up, and I've seen some guys really tighten it up, and maybe it's just for aesthetic reasons, right? They want to look huge, so they draw that the 34-inch waist all the way down to a 28 because the weight belt is so tight. But the blood pressure eventually rises, and when we're working out, our blood pressure is jacked anyway. So and it even elevates if we're in a prone or supine position. So that's not something that we need to add to that. We don't need a higher blood pressure. Okay, if we're training hard enough, and intensity is extremely important. Your blood pressure is already going to be jacked up there. So don't put on that weight belt and make it worse. Okay, the last thing you need to do is have a freaking heart attack while we're training. So gives you a false sense of security. So people tend to think, well, I've got this weight belt on, it's really stabilizing my muscles. I'm gonna go ahead and try a new personal record. I'm gonna lift, this much more than I'm used to, and that just leads to injuries. So don't get crazy with it. Don't think that this thing is going to save you from lifting too much weight and getting hurt, because it's not. Okay, who the weight belt is for strength athletes. If your goal is strength and you have a reason for it. Everybody wants to get stronger, obviously, but if you're an actual strength athlete, there's a reason why you're working towards something. In some cases, the weight belt makes sense on big lifts, like your deadlifts or your heavy squats. Yes, Olympic style lifts as well can be beneficial. And from what I understand, and I'm not an expert in this by any means, but generally, if you're pushing above 85% of your 1 rep max, and you're doing those types of lifts, and you're a strength athlete, then maybe it makes sense. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Just my opinion. Of questions, concerns, hit me up, Steve at singledadfitdad.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.